Hey guys, I want to do a video about how to get investors to say yes. So you're raising money, you're got your stuff together, you're out there pitching. How do you get investors to say yes? Well, here's my 3 tips. Tip number 1, confidence. So nothing is going to get investors to say yes and to be interested more than your own confidence in what you're doing. Walking into a pitch, if you are super confident that what you're building is going to be the next big thing, is going to be highly successful, highly profitable, well, people are just going to say yes, way more likely to say yes. And so the question is, how do you walk in there with confidence? And I think the way to walk in there with confidence is to have, 1, done your homework. And that's no small thing. Like, it's really important that you spend as much time as you need to really do your homework about the market, about your team, about the opportunity, about your business model, whatever stage you're at pitching. You gotta feel in your bones and in the cells of your body that what you are doing is going to work. And if you have certainty, the person who's more certain is often the one who persuades. Almost always the one who persuades in an interaction. So doing your homework is a way for you to get certain in your body that what you are building is going to be what you know it can be, and that your vision is going to be realized, and that this rocket ship is leaving the station, and that these investors can either get on or miss the launch. They can get on or they can miss the boat. So that confidence is so important. And the number 1 way to build that confidence is to do your homework and walk into the pitch really feeling certain in your bones that this is going to work. Too many times I walked into pitches, I know a lot of other entrepreneurs walk into pitches feeling like it could work, it might work, or feeling like it's not going to work, and they're hiding this problem with their business and they just need to get money so that they can figure it out. But that's just not a good place to be in. It's not a good state to be in. So number 1 is confidence. Confidence in the big picture, confidence in the pitch, confidence in the story. That's going to go so far in getting investors to say yes. Tip number 2 is have abundance. You want to be in an abundance mindset when you're pitching to investors. You want to be in the mindset that there's lots of investors out there with lots of money, and you're picking the ones that are right for your company, for your opportunity. Too often CEOs go into pitches feeling desperate, seeming desperate, feeling like this has to work, and that just kills a pitch. Like, nobody likes desperation. In a romantic relationship, in a job hiring setting, and in pitching and selling, people hate desperate. Desperate does not engage, enroll anybody. So it's super important that you have an abundance mentality, and the way you do that is you actually create abundance with the fundraising process that you're running. So you structure the process in such a way that you have a lot of meetings all at once, and that you don't actually start raising until you know you have significant interest. You're asking for advice, you're asking for feedback, you're generating interest and demand, and then when you have enough interest and demand, then you are actually raising, and you're actually taking yeses. And I can go into a lot more detail on this, but the way you do this is you make your list of investors, you target them all, and you start talking to them, but you're not raising yet. You're figuring out if you have enough demand to raise. Once you feel like you have enough demand to raise, then you actually go and start pitching, trying to get people to say yes, pitching, but you're getting all your pitching meetings, all your pitches in a very short, compressed time frame. So in the frame of a couple weeks or 4 weeks, you're doing all these pitches. And that does a few things. First, it gives you an abundance mentality. If you have 4 pitches today, any one of them doesn't really matter that much, because you've got 4 of them. So you can go and get 2 no's and still have 2 more meetings that day. So that feeling of abundance communicates. And if you have 4 meetings every day for 10 days in a row, well, that's just massive abundance. You're not going to be in a desperate state. You don't need anybody to say yes, and you can really relax into the confidence from step 1. The other thing abundance does is it creates FOMO in the investors. If people know that you're doing a lot of meetings, that there's lots of interest, it just lights the fire under their butt to actually have to make a decision and to treat this opportunity as a real opportunity that is time limited and that's going to go away soon. So having abundance is super important, and the way to do that is to have lots of meetings all compressed in time. Another strategy for abundance is not to cap the raise. So start with a lower number that you would accept, hit that number, and then you're in an oversubscription situation. So that creates abundance. Everybody wants to get in the pool because people are already in the pool. And also what I said before about not starting to raise until you have interest, because then you start the raise with people in the pool. And once people are in the pool, it's a lot easier for other people to jump into the pool. And then the last piece of creating abundance is being willing to say no to investors. Like really spend time interviewing them, qualify them. Make sure that they're the type of person that you would like to work with, that they're the type of person who you think can add value over and above the money that they're just bringing to the table. And if you start interviewing them with that abundance mindset, it changes the dynamic inside a pitch. And it shows that you're really valuing what you're building, the opportunity that you're creating, the company that you're building. And that appreciation of your own value is going to translate into the investor's mind as, wow, this is something of value that I have an opportunity to get involved with. Investors start to see this as an opportunity, and you can start to see this as an opportunity that you're presenting. Instead of trying to get money, you're presenting an opportunity. Instead of trying to get something, you're giving something. And with what you're giving, you can be abundant. So step number 2, abundance. Very important to get investors to say yes. Step number 3, the last step on how to get investors to say yes, is focus on what's in it for them. Like remember that raising money and pitching is sales. You know, you're trying to get someone to say yes and buy shares in your company. So step number 3 or tip number 3 is focus on what's in it for them. And this is going to be different for every investor. Like some investors might want to invest in a startup in your industry. They might just want a startup in your industry in their portfolio. So another investor might want a specific return by a specific date. Another investor might want the PR of investing in your company. Another investor might be concerned with their rank inside their fund, and they really want to move up to full partner. So everybody you talk to is going to have a different reason to say yes and what they're looking for. So it's really important to find out what that is. And the way you do that is by asking questions and then listening to the answers and trying to repeat back. You know, it sounds like what you're looking for is an exciting startup in the VR space because you believe that VR is going to be $1 billion industry and you want to have some exposure to that upside. Is that right? Or you could say, it sounds like you're feeling a bit frustrated inside your firm because you don't have a deal like these other partners have, and you're looking for a deal that's really going to establish you inside this firm. So try and find out what it is they want, and then figure out if what you're offering, if the opportunity that you're bringing to the table can help them get what they want. And if it can, tell them how it can, assuming you want them in your deal. And that's going to allow them to, it's just going to make it easy for them to say yes, because they're going to see what's in it for them. And they're going to see that what they're looking for, the problem they're looking to solve, is represented in the opportunity that's your company. So those are my 3 steps or tips to get investors to say yes. 1, have confidence by doing your homework, extreme doing of the homework. Step 2, be in an abundant mindset by running a process that generates lots of meetings in a compressed amount of time, and interview the investors, so be picky and choosy. And step 3, focus on what's in it for them. And if you do those 3 things, closing your round is going to be a lot easier. So I wish you success. I hope this video was useful, and if you found it valuable, please subscribe. And let me know in the comments what other topics you'd like me to address. And head on over to letsmakeitreal.today, where I've got a bunch of fundraising resources and free stuff to help you get your round closed. All right, guys, thanks. Talk to you later. Thanks for listening. Bye.